All right, we've reached the end of Section 2 of Article 1.
The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers and shall have the sole power of impeachment. Fairly simple. The Speaker of the House is the only office that's designated, and they get to kind of make up their own as they go along. The power of the Speaker of the House has uh, come and gone over the centuries, but currently officially is third in line to the presidency. So, second in line after president, vice president. Speaker of the House is next. That's a
So,
nice job.
usually, the Speaker of the House, speakers are elected by the majority party of the
Yes.
House.
Now, that's not designated by the Constitution, in part because the party system had not happened yet. That would only come, maybe ironically, with the discussion about ratifying the Constitution.
Hence the Federalists, Anti-Federalists.
Right. Which were the first two political parties, at least in the US. The other thing that's worth noting is the sole power of impeachment does not mean they get to vote to throw people out. Technically, the Senate does that. Impeachment is more like indictment, arraignment, that area of things where you're officially laying the charge.
They get to vote to have a trial.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's different, but also the same. But is the speaker kind of like a prime minister in other countries?
It not really. The speaker does not officially have any more power than anyone else. They don't have the official authority to speak for their party. They don't have the official authority to control Congress. They speak for the House.
So basically, they have the power to hold the gavel and say order or
Yeah. And they do have a lot of behind the scenes power, but a prime minister's job is to advise the queen or king now. That's good. I still have not gotten used to that, but to advise the monarch, let's say, on what's going on. And the Speaker of the House is more telling everybody the position of the House.
Yeah, because I was saying the power, but basically the party, but here the party in in Parliament, the party is in charge. Oh, picks
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, because the Speaker of the House pretty much invariably comes from the majority party because, well, they have the most votes when they're not hopelessly fractured. They get to step in and say, hey, these are our goals, this is our direction, this is what we're doing.
But yeah, I think right now I might be wrong, but I checked. we still don't know who the majority in the House is right now.
I'm honestly not sure. I've been so freaking out I haven't even checked.
When I checked this morning of the thing, I think it was still, even though the one side had more people, neither side has a past the majority mark. But that might have changed in the last few hours since we started recording.
Yeah, looks like control is still. There are apparently literally dozens of districts that have not finished determining it.
I guess the one thing. I guess they're more concerned about the exact numbers than they are for president.
Yeah, 30 races remain to be called. Well, also, I would imagine a lot of these are much tighter races. People are weird about their votes in a lot of ways. So you get a lot of people who would vote for one party for president who will still vote for another party for representative.
Now, it mentions other officers. I know some officers in the Senate, different place, but what are the other officers in the House? My brain's done right now.
That's a good question.
Like the whip is like the whip stuff is the Senate, right? Is that the House too?
Yeah. Majority leader, minority leader. Oh, there's a whole section on just officers. Yeah, Wikipedia points out it doesn't actually say in the Constitution that the Speaker has to be a member of the House.
Yeah, I think that years ago, I think they mentioned that people joked about or talked about. I don't say joking, really, it's not funny, but like
with how complicated the Speaker elections have been in the last few years, it wouldn't surprise me if they eventually gave up and voted for somebody who wasn't a member of the House.
I think it was a joke or not that people talk about having Trump as the Speaker of the House, even though he wasn't a member of that.
Yeah,
to that rule,
which technically and legally is possible. So yeah, there's majority leader, minority leader. Each party has a whip who works to ensure that the members vote the way the party wants them to.
So it's not just the Senate; the House has those same things.
Yeah. There's chairs of House committees, and there's a bunch of caucuses, and yeah. And there's a chaplain, which is a thing that there shouldn't be, but, that's not actually a member of the House.
Yeah,
but they do get to appoint a chaplain and so forth. Separation of church and state notwithstanding.
Yeah, we'll get to more of that that issue for our season for our season 13 premiere in January, but
yeah,
I always find it weird. Every time I go to vote, it's at a church or church related building.
Look, I'm a member of what is euphemistically referred to as a minority religion. Mm-hmm. So I have feelings on the whole chaplain issue. Funnily enough, they were talking about appointing a chaplain to the Constitutional Convention, and I probably mentioned this last time, but Benjamin Franklin suggested it about midway through their debate, and everybody was like, no, we'll not be doing that. In part because they felt that it would look like they were giving up. Like, we can't do this, we need God to sort everything out for us. And nobody wanted to go there. So they didn't even vote on the suggestion.
So basically, rounding this all up, basically, they had the people power to make somebody in charge of the house, and plus they can say, we don't like you. We're gonna, let's say we don't like you, but we're gonna start the proceedings to get rid of you.
Yes,
and that's not the president. That's themselves, the senators, judges,
the senators, Supreme Court. I have feelings about certain of our Supreme Court justices. But all of these people are theoretically subject to impeachment by the House of Representatives.
Right. Yeah. So, unlike the president, some people that actually got impeached were thrown out of office.
Yeah, we've never had a president thrown out of office. We would have if Nixon hadn't resigned, but he did, so we didn't. But we have had people from other positions thrown out of office after impeachment, but they get tried in the Senate for that.
when we return, we are finally on a different section. We'll see you then.